Hey everyone, Justin here from the Bill Coors Wellness Center, coming at you with a little change up today for this stretch and mobility break. I want to take y'all through a foam roller mobility break. So if you have a foam roller, great, you're already set up. Go ahead and grab that. We're going to get started here in just a second with 6 different foam roll areas of the body and techniques that we can use to help to enhance our recovery after a workout. These are also great before a workout and really any time of day to just help post-workout soreness. They can help to increase our range of motion through our major joints. And really, foam rolling is a great activity that you can do just about anywhere at any time. There's no specifics as to oh, you should only do it after a workout like we recommend for static stretching. Foam rolling can be great before or after a workout or even on its own if you're doing just like a recovery day. So with that said, go ahead and get your foam roller ready. For those of you that don't have a foam roller, there's plenty of household items that you may have around your house that you could use that work just as well. I know these double-walled tumblers have gotten really popular over the past couple years. Anything that can really hold your weight and that you're not afraid is going to collapse on you. So canned goods work just as well too. Obviously, the bigger the canned good, the better. You want a larger surface area if you can get it. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into the first one. The first couple are going to be focusing on lower body. So we're going to start with the glute roll. So what I want you to do is go ahead and sit on your foam roller, cross one leg over the opposite, and then that's going to bring my glute on the way you're looking at it. It probably looks like my right leg, but it's actually my left leg. I'm going to rotate towards the side that I have crossed over. So I'm kind of leaning towards my left as my left leg is crossed over my right. That's going to get me on that glute max and a little bit of the glute med, and I can kind of roll slowly back and forth. It's kind of a small surface area that I'm focused on. I'm only rolling maybe 2 inches either direction, but I can also, you'll notice I'm kind of like rotating down a little more. That's going to get more of the upper area of that glute, which is that glute med, and we're just going to spend 30 seconds. I want you to go nice and slow. That's really the key with this foam rolling is you don't want to go fast because we're actually trying to change the orientation of the muscle fibers to try to get them in a more congruent fashion. Typically when we work out, we're breaking down muscle to build it back. Our body doesn't exactly build it up in the perfect structure that it would like to be in. And then that typically leads to soreness and especially trigger points. So those areas where you're rolling and you feel like a more tender spot. Stay on that spot and do that with all these foam rolling techniques. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So as I was saying, just roll back and forth, kind of rotate, shift a little bit to get to different areas of that glute. When you find a tender spot, instead of rolling off of it immediately, I want you to try to stay on it, continue to breathe, try to stay as relaxed as possible, and then you may even feel that tenderness or that real tight spot kind of loosen up the longer you stay on it. So we're only going to do 30 seconds here on both sides, but by all means, spend longer if you need to, and you feel like you're benefiting from staying in that one spot. The next one we're going to do is an adductor. And so what I want you to do is you're going to actually come down to your stomach. We're going to choose a leg to start with, and we're going to kick that leg out wide. So from here, I'm focusing on the groin area, also known as the adductors. And so that's the muscles on the inside of my leg. And notice I'm just going to kind of use my elbows to help shift my weight. And again, I'm just going nice and slow, finding areas that are a little more tender than others and just hanging out there. We're going to do 30 seconds on this side. You can go all the way from really close into your hip to just above the knee joint. And you'll actually be able to hit a little bit of the VMO, which is a quad muscle as well. So if I wanted to raise my foot up, I can get that VMO a little more, which is not a adductor muscle, but this is a good way to get that as well, because you can't really get it as well doing the quad roll, which you're going to do in just a second. So go ahead and switch sides and give you the view from this side. So again, I can apply more pressure if I want to pick this straight leg up, or if it's enough pressure, then I can just stay with the leg down. But I'm just kind of rolling back and forth, spending about 30 seconds on each side, more if I'm feeling more tender, but I definitely want to spend at least 30 seconds. And then once we've got that done, we're going to move to quads. So our quads get really tight from sitting a lot. So this is a great one to do really prior to a workout, or even after a long day of being at the desk or seated in a car. And you can do one leg at a time if you wanted, where you cross over the other leg, which is going to apply a little more pressure. But two legs works as well. I prefer the two leg just because I don't have to spend as much time. I'm still holding a pretty good plank position here. I'm not letting my hips, and my rib cage drop down towards that floor. If I want to, I can kind of shift my body one direction, which is going to focus on different areas of the quad. And then now that we've got 30 seconds there, we're going to switch to upper body. And so we're going to start with the pec. We're going to try to release that. So we hold a lot of tension up in the pec from driving, typing on the keyboard, being on our phones. And so we're going to use the corner of our foam roller here. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to get really the pec minor, but we're going to get a little bit of the pec major as well. I want to kind of wedge that corner of that at an angle of 45 degrees with my body, and then just kind of lay into it. And I'm breathing here, and I'm shifting, real small range of motion, got maybe an inch either direction, finding a tender spot, which I did just there, and hanging there. I can get a little bit of cross friction going too if I want by moving my arm. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but I'm shifting it slightly. And then now that I've got 30 seconds on that side, honestly for me, I'm really tight here from doing too much bench pressing over the years. So I'd probably spend a little longer than 30 seconds here, personally. Completely up to you though. We'll switch to the other side. Let me give you the view. So I've got it at angle at about 45 degrees from the body. And then I'm gonna kind of wedge it in, not in the armpit, I'm just above that. And then just kind of, I'm shifting a little bit. I can shift it a little more with my hands as opposed to just with my body. I want to get into a better orientation. And then I'm just breathing. The deeper breaths you can take when you're doing this foam rolling is going to help you relax more. And it's also going to help kind of enhance that roll and that kind of self-manual release that we've got going on here. Because that's going to expand my diaphragm, which is going to help to kind of push that muscle a little deeper into that foam roller. So now that I've got 30 seconds there and each pec done, I'm going to switch to my lats. These are often pretty tight as well. And so for this, we're shooting for that big back muscle that is right here underneath the armpits. You're going to want to raise your arm up overhead for this one, and you're going to rotate to the side for this. And so in this position, I'm kind of rotated with my body towards the wall here, and that's going to allow me to really wedge that foam roll, or wedge my lat between that foam roller and the bone of my scapula. So just slight roll, find that tender spot. Whew, I found it on myself. I'm going to hang here for, like I said, about 30 to 60 seconds. So hopefully you found a pretty tender spot too. You can open up or close a little bit, get different areas of that lat. And let's switch to the other side, give you the view from this side. So I'm stretching up and I'm gonna roll towards you in the camera. And then I can use this hand, this free hand, to help to kind of shift, and I'm also using my feet as well to slightly, glide my body on top of that foam roller. Try to find a tender spot. When you find that, you can do a little bit of kind of oscillation. So it doesn't look like I'm doing much here, but that little shift with my head is actually moving my shoulders as well and giving me a little bit more friction through the foam roller on my lat. Now that we've got close to a minute there, I'd say, we're gonna take it to our very last foam roll technique for this routine, which is more of a mobility and distraction. So that's actually gonna help to pull our joints of our spine apart a bit. It's gonna help to get some more thoracic extension. So this is called the Thoracic Spine Extension on the foam roller. So what I want you to do is you're gonna come down so that the foam roller is directly underneath heart. From here, I want you to bring hands behind your head, tuck your chin in towards your chest. Well, it doesn't mean I'm pulling with the hands, they're just there to kind of help guide the process. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to open up as much as I can through my spine while keeping my core slightly braced. You don't have to be completely contracted, but I do, like someone's gonna punch you in the stomach, but I do want you to be on slightly with those abdominals. That's gonna help you prevent from just flaring the ribs. And then we're just gonna try to open up on top of it, hold for a few seconds, open up again. I can shift a little bit. So I'll shift up a little bit. I'll shift down a little bit. Same thing. So I'm trying to kind of stay in the confines of my thoracic spine. So definitely don't go too high. I'd say definitely stop when you get to about mid shoulder blade. And then definitely don't go any further than below kind of belly button level, because then you're getting into lumbar. And we don't really want to be messing with that too much as far as getting it mobile, because we want the lumbar spine to be stable. But we want this part of our spine to be pretty mobile. And so just spend about 30 to 60 seconds doing these thoracic extensions. And you also may find that you're going to get a pretty good self-massage on those back muscles as well. And then once you've got that done, that completes our 6 movement foam roll routine today. Hopefully you're feeling really good after that, and it's helped to kind of unlock some of your joints, make those muscles feel better. And be sure to follow along for our next stretch break coming out on Friday. Thanks, y'all. Have a good one.